Hey there, and welcome back. When you think about how companies handle AI rules, it's about more than just dodging fines. It actually tells you a whole lot about what they're really all about. So let's get right into it. All right, before we jump in, just a quick heads up. This is part 4 of a big 15-part overview of a research report from Virtualization Options LLC on AI governance. We're really just scratching the surface here, and of course, this is all for informational purposes. It's not legal advice, and it doesn't come with any kind of warranty.
Okay, so this really boils down to one central question. When it comes to AI regulations, do you see them as just another cost to minimize, or are they a standard you should be trying to exceed? And believe it or not, the answer to that question pretty much defines everything else about a company's entire approach.
All right, first up, let's talk about the shareholder view. The best way to think about this one is as a defensive strategy. It's super pragmatic, and the number one rule is to protect the bottom line.
And honestly, this quote from the report just sums it up perfectly. So the key phrase here is minimum viable compliance. It's all about doing just enough to check the legal boxes without putting any, unnecessary constraints on the business. It's about being efficient, not necessarily being exceptional.
So what does that actually look like in practice? Well, the primary goal? It's pretty straightforward. Minimize legal trouble and avoid those hefty financial penalties. Their whole stance is reactive. They're not looking to get ahead of things. They wait for a regulation to become law, and then they act. And the tools they use, like detailed documentation and audit trails, those are really there for one reason: to build a strong legal defense if they need it. And if a system fails or something goes wrong, the response isn't guided by some high-minded principle. It's a straight-up cost-benefit analysis to figure out the cheapest way to handle it.
Okay, so that's one philosophy. Now, let's completely flip the script and look at the other side. This is the customer-focused view. And it's not about playing defense, it's about playing offense. It's a strategy that's built on a totally different idea, that trust itself is a huge competitive advantage.
And again, there's a quote here that just nails it. I mean, how great is that? For these companies, compliance isn't the ceiling you're trying to reach, it's the floor you start from. The real goal is to earn and hold on to customer trust. And that almost always means you've got to go way beyond what the law technically requires.
So, how does this one play out? Well, the number one goal is building trust, plain and simple. Their stance is super anticipatory. They're actively adopting best practices before they're ever legally required to. And get this, they actually see regulators as collaborative partners, not enemies to be fought. When it comes to verification, it's not just about internal audits. No, they're looking at customer perception, satisfaction metrics, even bringing in ethics reviews. And if a failure happens, the response is guided by principles. It's about doing the right thing to maintain that trust, not just crunching the numbers.
All right, so we've looked at both of these philosophies. Now, let's put them side by side. This is where you can really see the difference.
Yeah, this table just lays it all out, crystal clear. First, look at how they interpret regulations. One side is seeking that bare minimum, while the other takes a much broader view, always favoring customer protection. What about voluntary standards? The shareholder view is selective, only adopting them if the cost-benefit analysis works out. The customer view? They adopt them comprehensively as a way to build trust. Their relationships with regulators couldn't be more different. It goes from being adversarial or just transactional to being a real collaborative partnership. And finally, when there's a gap or a problem, one response is driven by that cost-benefit calculation, while the other is all about a principle-driven correction to fix the issue and maintain trust. Just worlds apart, right?
Okay, so you might be listening to all this and thinking, this is interesting, but so what? Why does this difference in philosophy actually matter in the real world? Well, here's the bottom line, all laid out. For the shareholder view, the motive is to avoid penalties. The strategy is minimum compliance. And the result, you get legal protection. Now, for the customer view, the motive is to build trust. The strategy is to exceed the standards. And the result there? It's a real, tangible, competitive advantage. It's really that simple. One is playing defense, the other is playing offense.
And all of this kind of leads us to one last big question. As AI gets more powerful, as it gets woven deeper and deeper into our lives, making decisions about our jobs, our health, our money, we really have to ask ourselves, is it enough for a company to just follow the rules? Is minimum viable compliance really okay when the stakes are this high? Or does real responsibility in the age of AI demand something more?